Hello and welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The President of the Republic received the Executive Secretary of IGAD. Trump affirms that no Palestinians will be expelled from Gaza despite his control plan. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our blood viewers. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Gelle, who is also the current chairperson of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development IGAD, today received the Executive Secretary of IGAD, Mr. Workane Gabriello, at the Presidential Palace. During this meeting, the current chairperson of IGAD, Mr. Ismail Omar Gelle and the Executive Secretary of IGAD discussed the outcomes of the 43rd Extraordinary Summit of IGAD, which was held yesterday via video conference and focused on the situation in South Sudan. The meeting provided an opportunity to discuss the next steps to be implemented following this summit. The meeting also discussed ways to establish a ministerial committee comprising three foreign ministers from IGAD member states. This committee will be tasked with traveling to Juba, the capital of South Sudan, to engage in direct dialogue with the conflict parties to implement the plan to end the crisis in South Sudan, which was outlined by the leaders of IGAD member states during yesterday's summit. Through this initiative, IGAD reaffirms its commitment to stability and peace in South Sudan and encourages an immediate cessation of all armed hostilities in South Sudan, as well as respect for the peace agreement adopted in 2018 to find a lasting solution to the conflict. This meeting between the current chairperson of IGAD and the executive secretary marks a crucial step in implementing the decisions of the recent summit, demonstrating the commitment of the President of the Republic and the current chairperson of IGAD, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Gelle, to intensify the efforts of member states to establish peace and security in the region. Let's listen now to the speech made by the Executive Secretary of IGAD.
I had a discussion with His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and also the Chair of the IGAD. As you know, yesterday we did a very successful meeting chaired by His Excellency, the President, about South Sudan. So I am here to follow up the next step that we have decided, the leaders has decided yesterday. One of the issues is a cessation of hostility in the Republic of South Sudan, and also bringing the parties to the table of the discussion. So I ask instruction from His Excellency the President that the combination of this delegation, which is going to go to Juba, that encompass of three foreign ministers of the member countries. These three foreign ministers, as we have agreed with His Excellency and as he approved, they are going to go to Juba to implement the decision, yesterday's decision, which is made by heads of states and governments of IGAD. The Republic of South Sudan is a continuation process. As you know, the revitalized agreement, the current government of South Sudan is made of the IGAD mediated peace agreement. So we are the guarantors of the peace agreement. So because of that, the most important thing is that revitalized agreement is the most important thing for South Sudanese peace. So because of that, number one, supporting South Sudanese to implement the revitalized agreement, especially in the security area. That is one thing. The second point is, for now, immediately, cessation of hostility. These ministers from member countries, three foreign ministers from member countries, are going to Juba to implement or to ask to bring together the parties who are in the conflict to the table of discussion and to resolve their issues through discussion, negotiation, and also through the spirit of the revitalized agreement that we did before 5-6 years when we established this government. So IGAD have a legal ground for that. IGAD have, as a member of IGAD South Sudan, we have a moral, legal background to resolve, to be with the people of South Sudan. That's why I'm here with Excellency the President.
Let's head to Addis Ababa now, where a new chapter has begun at the helm of the African Union Commission during a solemn ceremony held at the headquarters of the Pan African Organization in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf officially assumed his role as chairperson of the commission, succeeding Chedian Musa Faki Muhammad, who led the institution for 8 years. The ceremony, rich in symbolism, brought together several African leaders of state and dignitaries, including Angolan President Joao Lourenço, the current chairperson of the African Union, and Ethiopian President Taye Atske Selassie, the host of the event. In his pregnant remarks, Musa Faki Muhammad passed the torch to his successor, praising his commitment and diplomatic experiences. It is an honor to hand over this responsibility to my brother Mahmoud Ali Yusuf. I have had the privilege of serving Africa during times of challenge and hope, and I'm confident that his leadership will take our country to new horizons, he said. Musa Faki, who leaves office after 2 terms marked by major crisis, recently honored in Djibouti by President Ismail Omar Guelleh with the highest national distinction and recognition of his unwavering support for the continental organization. During the ceremony, he called on African leaders to empower his successor to effectively address presented challenges. The handover was held as a moment of continuity and renewal of the African Union. Observers note that Mahmoud Ali Yusuf's low profile yet competent demeanor, combined with his deep understanding of the organization's interests, could enable him to navigate successfully through a complex geopolitical landscape. Let's now listen to the speech of the new president of the African Union.
Our continent is indeed the cradle of mankind, but it will also soon be the main driver of global growth. Our continent has what it takes to change the course of its history, and I have no doubt that this century will experience the rise of Africa. Let us work for it, and I would like to close my remarks here to thank His Excellency President Selassie, the President of the Federal and Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the government and the great people of Ethiopia for the brotherly welcome we receive every time we come to Addis Ababa. Thank you.
The Ministry of Health, Dr. Ahmed Rabli, today received the Director of Humanitarian Interventions at Qatar Charity to explore opportunities for enhancing partnership between the two institutions in the field of health. Following the discussions, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health and the Director of Humanitarian Interventions at Qatar Charity signed a partnership agreement aimed at supporting the procurement of medicines, equipment, and medical supplies with a particular focus on dialysis services. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Mr. Muhammad Ali Muhammad, accompanied by the Director of Humanitarian Interventions at Qatar Charity, Mr. Ibrahim Abdurrahman Al Janahi, visited Bilbala Hospital, where they were able to review the progress made and interact with the medical teams in the dialysis department. This visit is part of the efforts to monitor and enhance healthcare infrastructure to ensure better care for patients with kidney failure. The Director of Humanitarian Interventions also made a significant donation of medical materials and equipment to the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health. This gesture underscores the ongoing commitment to strengthen the healthcare system and improving the care provided to the population. On this occasion, the Secretary General expressed his deep gratitude to the government and people of Qatar for this valuable contribution, which supports public health efforts. The Ministry of Health reaffirms its commitment to continue its efforts to ensure equitable access to care and improve the quality of services. chaired by Deputy Chairman Musa Are, the Finance, General Economy and Planning Committee of the National Assembly held a session to discuss the financial accounts of the National Agency for Social Development for the year 2023. Representing the government at this session was the Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Mrs. Ulufa Ismail Abdu, accompanied by the Director of the agency. In another session, the Finance, General Economy and Planning Committee of the National Assembly discussed the financial accounts of Djibouti Post for the year 2022. Representing the government at this session was the Minister of Information in charge of Posts and Telecommunications, Mr. Radwan Abdullah Bahdan. In yet another session, the Finance, General Economy and Planning Committee of the National Assembly discussed the finance accounts of the People's Palace for the year 2023. Representing the government at this session was the Secretary General of the Government, Mr. Almis Muhammad Abdullah. After constructive and fruitful discussions, the committee approved the projects and referred them to the next general session. The Finance, General Economy and Planning Committee of the National Assembly, chaired by Deputy Chairman Musa Are, held a session to discuss the financial accounts of the Higher Institute of Health Sciences and the Center for Scientific Studies and Research in Djibouti for the fiscal year 2023. Representing the government at this session was the Minister of Higher Education and Research, Dr. Nabil Mohammed Ahmed. After constructive and fruitful discussions, the committee approved the two projects and referred them to the next general session. The Djiboutian Court of Accounts today held its official session to mark the beginning of the year 2025, representing an important step forward in striding its judicial role in affirming its international influence. The year 2024 was a turning point for the court, with an accelerated piece of case processing and a renewed commitment to transparency and good governance. Thanks to the integration of 20 new judges, the court was able to investigate more than 60% of the adult files of public accountants awaiting judgment. This success is based on an ambitious integrative program combining training, monitoring, and practical application of judicial control. The mobilization of mentor judges and principal reporters was crucial in ensuring the operational effectiveness of this new generation of judges, who are now fully participating in the judicial oversight of public accountants' account. The achievement of the court's performance objectives was made possible thanks to the valuable support of the French Court of Accounts and the Senegalese Court of Accounts, which shared their expertise and supported the Djiboutian court in improving judicial oversight. This area of judicial oversight, which is not covered in textbooks, is primarily learned through practice and experience, as emphasized by the first president of the Court of Accounts. On his occasion, the court expressed its gratitude to its French and Senegalese counterparts for their indispensable support in the technical and challenging field. In this context, the court continues its efforts to strengthen dialogue with public accountants. The year 2025 will see an in-depth review of the accounts of public accountants for the strict management accordance with public finance principles. The ceremony was attended by the First President of the Supreme Court of Accounts, the Attorney General of the Supreme Court, the Secretary General of the Court, the Presidents of the Parliament Chambers, the First Attorney General, and the judges. As part of the Ramadan tournament program, the Mayor of Balbala, accompanied by officials from the Ministry of Youth and Culture, conducted a follow-up visit to various activities organized in celebration of the holy month. The delegation began their visit at the Sheikh Musa Community Development Center, which hosted numerous events. Among the main activities was the football tournament, an unmissable event during Ramadan, which once again attracted a large audience just before iftar, providing young people an opportunity to gather around the popular sport while respecting the spirit of friendship and solidarity that characterizes this month. In addition to the football tournament, a table tennis tournament was also organized. This tournament brought together many participants, from youth to adults, who completed in a relaxed and festive atmosphere. During this visit, a valuable religious lecture was held, addressing topics related to the teachings of Ramadan and solidarity during this holy month. The Mayor of Balbala, accompanied by ministerial officials, expressed his satisfaction with the success of these events, emphasizing their role in promoting youth, social cohesion, and cultural development in our country. This initiative represents another step in the ongoing efforts of the Ministry of Youth and Culture to make Ramadan a favorable period not only for organizing activities for youth, but also for promoting values of participation, mutual assistance, and social development. Shifting gears towards the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump said on Wednesday that no one is expelling any Palestinians from the Gaza Strip. This came during a press conference in Washington with Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin, who arrived in the United States for an unspecified duration visit. In response to a journalist's question about his plan to expel Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, Trump replied, No one is expelling any Palestinian from Gaza. Since the 25th of January, Trump has been promoting a plan to displace Palestinians from Gaza to neighboring countries, such as Egypt and Jordan, which has been rejected by both countries, along with other Arab and European states, as well as regional and international organizations in construct. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more as usual. Have a wonderful evening and take care.